Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Nick Landers, and this is Success Starter Kit. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Success Starter Kit. I was actually at the gym today, and I was playing a little basketball, and I thought about LeBron James and Paul Pierce, their battle in the finals, and I thought about what Paul Pierce said in a post-game interview, and he was talking about how he wanted he wanted to guard LeBron. He wanted to take the hardest assignment, and when he talked about it, basically he said, you know, their job as a team is to make the right choices in order to give their team the best opportunity to win. And when I thought about that, and as I was watching that video, I had this idea of, let me talk to you guys about what it means to put yourself in a position to win, or give yourself a chance to succeed. I think so many times we forget like how much you have to focus throughout, a competition, throughout practice. Even when you are off the gridiron and you're off the court, there's an element where your brain is still on. If you're competitive in nature and you want to win, and there's something you want to do, that part of you never really turns off. It's always going. It's kind of like when you play a video game for like 10 or 12 hours at a time for an entire week, and then when you go to sleep, you can still see it, like you're still playing, or like your finger will twitch. Or I remember when I used to play so much basketball that I would walk under a doorway and I would Euro step, and there's nobody even there. It's just me, in the house and nobody there. And so, but it's by habit. You do it so much, it's instinctual at that point. And so by putting yourself in a position to win, the first thing I think is you got to know the game. You have to understand how the game works. What's the outcome of the game? What are all the components? And I think when you fail to prepare and study the game, the gap between defeat and victory is huge. When you don't practice and when you don't prepare, there's a huge rift between where you are as someone who doesn't practice and someone who's devoted their entire life to this thing, okay? So the quickest way to close that gap is to be a student of the game, is to become a master of that industry, to become a master of that skill set. And so you constantly have to work on those skills. To put yourself in a position to succeed, it means having an awareness of where you stand currently. And one of the biggest things I see when you don't have when you lack this awareness, one of the biggest obstructions to that is your ego. Your ego sometimes will make you think you're bigger than you are or smarter than you are. You can kind of find yourself in a place where you're delusional, where you think you're hot stuff, but these other people know that you're not by the fruits that you bear, right? And that's how it's always proven, right? You think you're great because you play the best people in your neighborhood, right? Or you think you're great because this has been your competition your whole life, but you fan out and you play people outside of your state, outside of your country, and across the world, and then you find out where you really stand. And a lot of people, at some level, don't explore that because they don't really want to know where they stand, okay? And that's a huge folly, it's a huge weakness or a misstep. When you don't want to put yourself in a position to be challenged. Pain, my dad used to say, is oftentimes life's greatest teacher. And there has to be a space where you're talking about putting yourself in a position to win. Sometimes that pain that you're trying to run from is the actual thing you should be running towards. You might be terrified of being rejected and hearing no when you're asking someone out, or you're selling a product, or you're cold calling. But that's exactly what you should be doing. You should make, 500 calls, 1,000 calls a day, and you should get excited to hear no, because that means you're one step closer to hearing yes. There's another saying where if you're the smartest person in your group, in your circle, you're never going to grow. You're in the wrong place. Okay, you should constantly be looking for people who are brighter than you, smarter than you, stronger than you, more talented than you are, because what it does is it makes you have to level up. You've got to swim with the sharks. You got to run with the beasts. I love that Paul Pierce took the challenge, threw himself into suffering. There's no way you can stop LeBron. We know you can't stop LeBron. What he really meant was, instead of LeBron dropping 30 or 40 point triple-double, maybe we can limit him to 20, 18 and 9 and 5. That would be a successful mission for Paul Pierce. Okay, so what that can mean for you as a student is seek out honors courses and AP courses. If you're in business and you're working at a company and you're seeking out promotions and there's another certification that's out there for you, or you may have to go back to school, don't run from that. Run towards the things that scare you most. Run towards the things that are going to steal your time and your energy and your resources and make you find another level. Another thing that hurts people where they can't get in a position to win is laziness. If you're lazy in your thinking, you're not strategizing, you're not thinking about tactics, you're not looking to utilize resources and networking to further your endeavor, laziness is going to kill you, right? Because someone's always working. Someone is always working, right? When you're looking out at anything in nature, I heard something like sharks don't even sleep. Like sharks can't even stop moving. Like they literally just keep going, right? And there are literally people just like that who never stop. They're always going, they're always on. And laziness in physical effort, laziness in your mental attitude is going to widen that gap between you and where you want to be. The laziness component means you might not understand where you really are in terms of your position between where you are and where you want to be. Again, that could be an element of your opponents and your enemies and where you think they are as opposed to where you are. Laziness can come across as this has always worked for me, and so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the idea, what's wrong with that is because if you're trying to get somewhere else and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you're going to get exactly what you're accustomed to getting, right? This has always worked for me. Great. And you're always going to get what you've always gotten. Okay. And so naturally you got to think that I've got to go to this next space. And so I have to change something, right? And I can no longer be lazy and routine and rely on my habits. I've got to form new habits to get to where I want to be. Again, that was just a thought I had today being in the gym. The key takeaways, I want you to separate from your ego. You're more than you ever thought possible. And it's a matter of work. It's a matter of effort. It's a matter of redefining yourself. It's a matter of being a student of you, being a student of the game. The very best people in the world at what they do, they were students of their industries. They look, LeBron made it to the league. Kobe made it to the league. And a lot of people could have said, hey, I made it. I'm here now. I don't have to work anymore. But there's a difference between I made it to the league and I won a championship. There's another level above making it to the league. There's another level beyond starting your business. There's another level beyond making all A's. There's another level beyond being married, all right? There are championship marriages. There are championship academics. There's championship athletics. There's championship relationships and friendships, all right? So just getting to that level is not enough. And you define those relationships. You structure those based on your values and your principles. And so you can't be lazy, right? Separate from your ego, develop a work ethic, and put yourself in a position to win and do it often. And if you do it often enough, you're going to get the championship. You're going to become a legend.